What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we're providing you a state of the market and stock picks for November 18th, 2022. So that sounds like something you're interested in. Consider subscribing, as I do provide daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead in this glorious market. So, as you can see, the market is pretty stale. Something I've talked about coming into this week is that the market's going to be dead. We don't really have a lot of news until the 13th to 14th of December. We won't really have anything, even though some of the news events that have occurred over the past couple days have been minute in comparison to what we've seen so far. Again, the market really has no reason to sell, really has no reason to keep pushing because we are not sure if we reach peak inflation. And the Fed has made that perfectly clear over the past day. I said a lot of Fed members would be coming into today talking, and they did quite a bit. They've had a lot of really interesting comments, particularly about rates being high. Bullard, in particular, said that the Fed will want to err on the side of keeping rates high for longer. So even though we may be getting a dial back on rate increases, you have to understand that we will still be sitting high for a reasonable period of time. So that way inflation doesn't creep back up, because that is the biggest concern, that yes, things have been showing a good sign of dialing back. But again, you have a lot of things playing on the background that I'm pretty sure the Fed are aware that if they fold, things are going to get potentially worse. There was also an article that came out as well, essentially stating that credit card balances jumped 15%, highest annual leap in over 20 years, as Americans fall deeper in debt. Again, something we talked about. Savings rates are being absolutely obliterated, and now people are relying on debt. And again, massive layoffs, severance packages. Essentially, a lot of the severance packages have already started or being started. So you're seeing a lot of rollouts, especially from the severance packages from banks now. And then you'll see even more rollouts towards the beginning of the new year with Facebook and Amazon. Now, the question being is where can those people bounce back quick enough, and will there be enough jobs around then? And if you're going to hold rates at a high spot, that is going to cause more reputable damage. Eventually, the companies will be able to keep up with what's going on, just as long as they stop moving towards upside. Being said, the market will start creeping up, especially if we have potentially peak inflation. It will become the norm, and the market will just start rolling up. And that's kind of what we're looking for and hoping to kind of see here in the stock market sense. It's not saying that the economy is going to get better. It's going to be a long time before the economy gets better. But you have to keep in mind that I think even the housing industry, I think, has yet to see a bottom. I think the prices will continue to fall, and we'll see this, especially if people are losing jobs, liquidating, whatever they can to gain some sort of cash to keep up with what's currently going on. A lot more people will continue to rent with the liquidations of homes. And so right now, things just aren't looking bad. And I talked about Target yesterday. Again, looting and theft of 400 million from Target. I mean, you can't just turn a blind eye to that kind of stuff. Again, there's no new news. So for the next couple months, I expect things to get bad. In general, when it comes to Q4 reporting, will be interesting to see. And then around, again, February, March, you're going to have to see if we bounce back or not, and where the consumer is sitting around that time. And again, heavily depends on what's going on with what the Fed are doing. And so with all that being said, going into tomorrow, I don't expect much. This is options expiration. We haven't even really get a lot of selling. We could potentially get some more selling tomorrow for options expiration, as quite a bit of money is coming off the books. But this is where we are. This is where we stand. I mean, again, I don't expect anything really to happen tomorrow. Even if we do start to sell, I don't expect much. The dollar, you take a look at the dollar. The dollar is still holding roughly around the 106. Again, my biggest thing is you want to see a bigger pivot or rally. The dollar needs to again break back below the 105, and then I think you can get a really strong rally from that. Again, kind of aiming towards some sort of Christmas rally, but your Christmas rally really doesn't start till January. So you got a next couple of weeks. Next week will be pretty much dead in the market. Then you got the 3 following weeks after that. Could potentially really pump the market, or not really pump the market, but you'll probably see a lot of sideways action as long as until the December 13th and 14th. Then you'll get a volatile move, and then that will pretty much set the precedence for 2023, as you're already kind of predicting 25-point basis move rollouts starting in February. So they're already kind of foreseeing that. But again, it really just depends on inflation, if the inflation starts to run back up or not. So we'll look and see what happens there. Tesla, let's go over our usual suspects here. Tesla, I think as long as Tesla can hold roughly around this 85. Again, these higher time frames are really hard to tell because, again, it fluctuates a lot. I do like this wedge on Tesla. It has done nothing but sell. Again, a lot of it's been Elon Musk selling for these massive drops and hardly any bounces. I think this will turn eventually. It's just the timing on that is what I'm kind of watching here. But I do like it around this level. Again, it could sell more. It's not saying it can't sell more. Obviously, everything can. If the new news comes overnight, it could also sell then too. So I want to keep that on watching for the break here. Again, a lot of resistance here, but Tesla, yeah, that's one thing I do like about Tesla is news drops and then this thing goes ripping overnight. So this thing can change pretty quickly. Airbnb almost back down to the buy. Watching roughly that 91 mark for Airbnb, but again, really going to depend on the markets. I don't expect a lot to happen in the next couple of weeks, so I'm not super eager to be jumping back into anything at the moment. Just kind of waiting how things play out and things start picking up again. Now, again, I want to keep a watch on this. If we can drop this back down to 350, not saying we're going to hit that tomorrow, but still keeping that on watch. Roblox is, again, another one I'm watching. It's getting close to the buy. Well, not so much buy there. My buy is roughly down here around the 26, 25 mark. If we can get a gap down on this. There was some bad actual news on the gaming industry with Blizzard this morning. I don't recall what exactly it was, but anytime again you get that sentiment on all industry, all individual companies within that industry, and so that's what you're seeing here on Roblox. BA again. These things, I don't like these parabolic moves. This flag looks like a break and a retest. So expecting this thing to come back down again, at least potentially 50%. So maybe 155. Maybe tomorrow there might be some more selling. We really have to see what goes on there. JPM again could be a potential break and retest of the flag. Parabolic move. You want at least 50% of this thing to retest. So 117. Maybe we start get some selling in it tomorrow with the options expiration. It's hard to really tell. Again, all these things look the same. When the market doesn't have any news to really run off of, it's just going to all look the same. So we'll have to see what happens there. The healthcare industry is one that has been doing well. Normally you can see some sort of a movement. Myrna had a pretty big rip since earnings. But aside from there, everything's kind of just going sideways because there's no news. And until we get more news, there's no real reason to be running. Not every day should be a trading day anyway either. So just keep that in mind. Unless you are DCAing, it really doesn't matter. So, and again, at this point, we've had a bit of a pump. So expecting some sort of a pullback. We're getting that. Again, we don't have any real big pivotal unless there's some black swan. So at this point, you're kind of just waiting and watching and seeing what happens next, and until the new year. And then when we get monetary policy and stuff next week, kind of shift, and then get ready for essentially the Christmas rally in January, and then see how things go from that point. So if you made this far, I do appreciate you. Go ahead and drop a like, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.